In a move that has managed to surprise and anger even his own supporters, Justin Trudeau just managed to appoint one of the least independent people he could find in the entire country to be Canada's new independent special rapporteur tasked with investigating Chinese election interference. Now, if it weren't so utterly depressing, the sheer brazenness with which Justin Trudeau handles ethics in this country would almost be admirable. It's the kind of stuff that would make even the world's most corrupt third world dictators blush. And throughout all of this, Liberal MPs, the ones that are still loyal to the Prime Minister, the ones that are fighting to the bitter end to save Justin Trudeau's career, well, they're going to extreme lengths to block Katie Telford, the Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, from testifying under oath in front of committee. What are they hiding from us? That's the comment question for the episode. What is Justin Trudeau hiding from Canadians? Let me know, drop a like in the video, help us out with subscribing to the True North YouTube channel, and let's get into it. Just as he did for the Emergencies Act inquiry, and just as he did for the 2021 fake federal election report, Justin Trudeau has once again called in his buddies, called in his Laurentian elite pals to bail him out of his latest scandal. Let's be honest, none of you were expecting the Prime Minister to appoint someone actually independent, someone who wasn't a close family friend or a sitting member of the Pierre Trudeau Foundation to be the special rapporteur. Expecting anything less would be a fool's errand. But Justin Trudeau's statement on Wednesday night announcing the appointment of David Johnston as the special rapporteur conveniently leaves out any evidence of the several disqualifying conflicts of interest that David Johnston now finds himself in. The Government of Canada takes any attempts at undermining our democracy very seriously and will continue to take actions to protect our institutions and uphold Canadians' confidence in our democracy. The Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, today announced that the federal government intends to appoint the Right Honourable David Johnston as Independent Special Rapporteur, a new role as part of a suite of measures to help combat foreign interference and strengthen confidence in our federal electoral process and democratic institutions. In this new role, Mr. Johnston will have a wide mandate to look into foreign interference in the last two federal elections and make expert recommendations on how to further protect our democracy and uphold Canadians' confidence in it. 10 days ago, instead of doing the right thing and calling for a public inquiry, Justin Trudeau did tell Canadians he would be appointing an independent special rapporteur.
But today, I'm announcing that I will be appointing an independent special rapporteur who will have a wide mandate and make expert recommendations on combating interference and strengthening our democracy.
Thanks to Justin Trudeau's time as a drama teacher, his acting skills on the podium managed to convince some gullible Canadians that he would be actually appointing an independent special rapporteur. The special rapporteur announcement was never intended to be anything other than a delay tactic, an effort by the Liberals to stop opposition MPs from demanding a public inquiry. By announcing the appointment of a special rapporteur, the government can kick this story down the road for a few more months and wait until a hand-picked special rapporteur tells them, it's fine, there's nothing to see here, let's just move along. But even with a perfect escape plan out of this scandal, Justin Trudeau managed to appoint someone who doesn't even for a second pass the smell test of independence. The Prime Minister had 10 days to pick someone in Canada who wasn't a lifelong close family friend, a member of the Pierre Trudeau Foundation, a recipient of millions of dollars in grants from the Trudeau government, or an appointee of Justin Trudeau himself. But Justin Trudeau managed to pick the one man in Canada who falls into all four of those disqualifying conflicts of interest. As Napoleon famously said, never ascribe to malice that which can adequately be explained by incompetence. And it's possible that when Justin Trudeau's office told him to not pick someone who falls into all four of those disqualifying conflicts of interest, Justin Trudeau might have misunderstood the instructions and heard them say, pick someone who falls into all four of these disqualifying conflicts of interest. But even I have too much respect in the office of the Prime Minister to believe that Trudeau was simply being incompetent and not intentionally doing whatever he could to get himself out of this scandal and protect his political career. Now, we're just going to run through these disqualifying conflicts of interest that make David Johnston's appointment as the special rapporteur completely untenable. First being the fact that David Johnston is a close family friend of Justin Trudeau. Back in 2017, Justin Trudeau waxed lyrical about the days he spent skiing in the Laurentians with David Johnston's family.
I've known the Governor General since I was a kid, from visiting him and his daughters when he was principal at McGill, to spending time on the ice or the slopes at their family home in the Laurentians. And I've always known him to be a man of strength, intelligence, and
Two Laurentian elites reminiscing of their days hitting the slopes in the Laurentians. I mean, the jokes just write themselves, don't they? And as I mentioned earlier, David Johnston is a sitting member of the Pierre Trudeau Foundation, the same foundation that is directly implicated in the China scandal. The Pierre Trudeau Foundation had to return a $200,000 donation because of links to the Communist Party. And the former CEO of that same organization, Morris Rosenberg, tried and failed to write the Get Out of Jail Free report for the 2021 federal election.
But wait! There's more!
When David Johnston was the Governor General of Canada, he founded and led a charity called the Rideau Hall Foundation. And in 2017, when Justin Trudeau was Prime Minister, Trudeau, in honor of David Johnston, gave millions of taxpayer dollars to that charity. Oh, and as icing on the cake to really solidify the disqualifying conflict of interest David Johnston finds himself in, Justin Trudeau in 2018 personally appointed David Johnston as the Commissioner of the Leaders' Debates Commission. By the way, the same debates commission that tried and failed to block True North from accessing the 2019 election debate. Nice try, David. Now, all of this brings us to the main question, the main theme of this episode, the common question. What is Justin Trudeau hiding from Canadians? Why does he have to, in his own words, appoint a close family friend to be the special rapporteur to investigate election interference claims? Trudeau couldn't find a judge that he hadn't gone skiing with in the Laurentians? That he hadn't given millions of taxpayer dollars to? Also, why are his loyal backbench MPs trying so hard to block all attempts to have Katie Telford, his chief of staff, testify under oath? What is so dangerous to Justin Trudeau that Telford knows that Liberal MPs are willing to completely embarrass themselves just to stop her from testifying?
Liberal members on this committee are filibustering this committee because we don't believe that the appropriateness of this of this motion, and that's why we're doing this, because we don't think it's right to be calling on staff, political staff, before committee.
One Liberal MP, Ruby Sahota, was so desperate to stop Katie Telford from testifying in front of committee that she began talking about how a public inquiry into election interference would cost the taxpayer too much money. You know something is really wrong in Ottawa when Liberals pretend to care about our money.
At about, or the last time I could find a calculation, last November, so November of 22, so as of November 2022, the public inquiry that is being done for the Ottawa LRT has cost $14.5 million. $14.5 million. I think that's going to make it hard for the Conservatives to sleep tonight. I really do, because I know that they are fiscally responsible, or they at least claim to be fiscally responsible.
Now, that behavior from Liberal MPs is a far cry from the kind of government Justin Trudeau was pitching to Canadians back in 2014 on Twitter. In 2014, Justin Trudeau told Canadians the Liberal Party of Canada wants to raise the bar on transparency and accountability, not only in Parliament, but in government too. Here's how. Now, with a touch of prophetic irony that's just too good not to mention, that 2014 tweet about how the Liberal government plans to raise the bar on transparency and accountability doesn't actually have a link as to how they're going to do it. Everyone watching this knows exactly what's going on. Whatever Telford knows is enough to potentially bring down the government. If there's nothing to hide, then why wouldn't the Liberals at least try to appear transparent? For the past 24 hours on Twitter, woke Liberal sycophants have been furiously defending Justin Trudeau's appointment of David Johnston as the special rapporteur, saying that David Johnston can't be seen as biased because Stephen Harper appointed Johnston as Governor General. First of all, anyone with a brain knows that just because Harper appointed Johnston as Governor General doesn't all of a sudden mean that Johnston is going to let one of his close family friend Laurentian elite buddies fall in political scandal without putting up a decent fight first. These woke sycophants on Twitter want you to believe that all of the evidence of a conflict of interest, the millions of dollars funneled from taxpayers to Johnston's charity, Johnston's position on the Pierre Trudeau Foundation, Johnston's appointment as the Commissioner of the Election Debates Commission, all of that gets erased because Stephen Harper appointed Johnston. As has been rightly pointed out by many talking heads on Twitter, the onus of appointing an independent, unbiased special rapporteur and convincing Canadians that the independence of the rapporteur cannot be in question is not on the people, it's on the government. The government has to convince us that the person they chose is not biased. And so far, they've failed in epic proportions. For the first time in 2023, we hand out the Ratio of the Week prize to a back-to-back winner, and there couldn't be anyone more deserving, the main man himself, Justin Trudeau, for his announcement on Twitter of David Johnston. Let's just say it didn't pass the smell test for most Twitter users, despite the best efforts of woke sycophants trying to defend the Prime Minister. At the time of this recording, Justin Trudeau's tweet has over 3,000 replies and only 1,700 likes. Nothing says independent like a close, personal family friend. It was during his time in that role that he became acquainted with Pierre and Margaret Trudeau, as the Johnston children played with the Trudeau children when the families were at their adjacent cottages in the Laurentians. They had adjacent cottages in the Laurentians. I looked into it. You did nothing wrong. Yep, a Trudeau Foundation member was tasked by Trudeau to investigate the Trudeau government for its complicity in Chinese election interference. I think we all know the results of the report already. This needs to be a public inquiry, corrupt coward. And that, my friends, is a perfect note to end the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Harrison Faulkner, and this is Ratio.